Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. Hit like, share, and subscribe. I'm just looking at some satellite images from the last couple days and thinking, wow, at a couple of these shots. I want to take you through some of this. Hit like, share, and subscribe. Become a channel member if you would. Let's get on with the show. Let's go.
There it is. My God. Anything could happen here. I'll watch the video later. They dry mopping this.
We're going to start on Thursday. Watch this sector right here blow off. That's what we're going to look at here a couple times over and over and over again. Boom, right there. Look at this explosion on what appears to be the Camp Shoe Fire complex there. Watch how it just rockets off. Boof. That's totally crazy, totally crazy. So a couple things we're going to look at here. First of all, you're going to see cold front's going to be moving through. Here it is again, Friday morning, making its way on through. Erratic winds ahead of it, affecting some of these fires. We're going to look at a number of different satellite images now that tell the story of the cold front moving through on Thursday. The fire activity really picking up in Alberta. Some of that turning into pyrocumulonimbus. That's right, when the cold front hit the pyrocumulus, the smoke cloud coming out of the fires. Some of them there began to be lightning producers. Okay, let's look at a whole bunch of different images here and see what we got. Here's our cold front moving through. Here you can see our weird explosion going off there. Just crazy eruption of fire activity. Must have driven that there. Could have been some lightning in that as well. Here on an air mass scan, we see it show up and then dissipate. Just erupt. Very intense pyrocumulus eruption. You can see that cold front making its way through and then coming into Saskatchewan. Watch that one more time on this. This is real pretty. I mean, it's disturbing, but boom, look at that. Look at that cold front going through, firing off thunderstorms through Alberta. One of those thunderstorms that went through the Edmonton area produced a wind gust of 129 kilometers an hour, I believe it was. The second highest wind gust ever measured at the Edmonton airport. Here we're seeing those fires kick off on Thursday again. Boom, the big explosion before nightfall. And then we get the darkness here on this one. You can't see, but here's our cold front coming through on Friday again, whipping winds up ahead of it. Here we see it on the visible. You can really see the smoke from those fires on the visible until, of course, the sun sets. And here we go again. You can really see those smoke on the visible more so showing up. Boof, there's those columns. Here we got a little bit of a closer image of that. Woof, bam, look at how it just takes off. It just punches right through the atmosphere. That is an unbelievable thing. Try to look at as many different views of it as we can. Boof, there it goes. On shortwave, you see it show up. On long wave infrared, you see it show up, and it really gives you an idea how far it shot up there, enough to really hit a really cold layer of air. There we go. Poof, just punching up through the cap. We'll slow it right down here and watch it. There it goes, punching up through. That is some extreme fire activity. That's so insane. Watch the wildfires in Alberta on Thursday jump into pyrocumulonimbus. Boom, thunderstorms right there, exploding out of it. Look at that's wild. Wild stuff. Wild stuff. That's how fires create more fires. They go on to create thunderstorms sometimes like that. So the cold front's moving through, and that's triggering, of course, the air to propel higher into the atmosphere fast, and that makes for the thunderstorm. It just punches up, 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 and breaks through that cap, starts creating lightning. There's a lot of moisture, in this front, but also from the fire itself. But the smoke here doesn't need its own moisture so much because it's being supplied nicely by the cold front line moving on through. So there would have been thunderstorms anyways up and down this line, but you can see clearly, wham, a big eruption of thunderstorm activity right out of that sector. Here we'll look at this sector one more time. Here you got Manitoba, you got Saskatchewan. You can see our explosion from that one fire going off. We'll just skip through the night here and come up in the morning Friday. What do we see for activity? You can see that cold front going through. You can see the winds getting erratic along especially this frontal boundary here, and the fire's picking up through the afternoon. See a couple chug pretty good there. These ones in Flin Flon really chug, and you can see the wind pattern direction is changing. It's going to change the direction smoke goes in the next couple days. And with the changing wind pattern, you're going to see some of that smoke dive down into places across the prairies. You're going to see a pretty heavy bunch of smoke moving on through Winnipeg and whatnot. And coming into the morning, still active burning in Saskatchewan on Saturday. New line of thunderstorms picking up as the new low tries to establish itself, I should say. The new line of thunderstorms picking into Alberta. Thunderstorms up through the north, Yellowknife area, maybe even up towards the Arctic Circle. Thunderstorms on Saturday being the story. Really warm temperatures still ahead of this low, so active fire conditions there. A bit of rain associated with this, but it's going to mostly take a jump up to the north there. It's mostly going to take a jump out and away from these fires, unfortunately. So that isn't great news, and there's a lot of lightning on the south end of this where the least amount of rain is. So that's not great news either. And then we have, again, Sunday, more thunderstorms kicking off in Alberta, especially up through the north as well a little bit, as that low has really intensified itself on its way out towards, say, Arviat. And look at all the thunderstorms in behind. So a lot of new fire start potential for Alberta, up into northeastern BC, up into the north. Oh, yeah. Not good. And all the rain that we really want to see going to these places isn't coming. The temperatures will come down kind of more seasonal values next week. But as you can see, Monday morning, now there's snow up there along that upper level of that. But Monday morning, already thunderstorms in Alberta kicking off again, some in Saskatchewan as well as possibly through Manitoba. There's always uncertainty with how these will play out, obviously, but that's not a great sign, seeing more thunderstorms as this all resolves itself. And when it resolves itself, the good news is we'll have a couple days of more moderate temperatures through Western Canada, more seasonal temperatures, but it really won't come with a lot of rain for much of the southern prairies, I would think, especially. So areas where the fires are very active right now still, the southern end of the boreal forest, where the campfire, shoe fire are in Saskatchewan, where that wolf fire is over to Flin Flon, Manitoba. On that axis, still very dry, not a lot of precip coming from everywhere there and south of. So concerns for the fire, and it's going to be very very, very hot in Manitoba into Sunday as well. Expect some pretty interesting activity from those fires that are along the Ontario border just north of Highway 1 a ways to the northeast of Lac du Bonnet and White Shell region. If you aren't familiar, go check your maps, folks. I'm going to go to bed. Hope you get this in the morning and it finds you well. Good luck.